Now, one of the main claims was the alleged allocation of 5 acres of land to the Siddhartha Vihar Trust linked to the Kharge family. The allegations, running into 394 pages of documents, focused on two separate government agencies allocating properties to the Siddhartha Vihar Trust. Even as a major controversy broke out on the acquisition of land, Chairman of the Siddhartha Vihar Trust and elder brother of Priyank Kharge, Rahul M. Kharge, wrote to the CEO of Karnataka Industrial Areas Development Board or KIADB requesting withdrawal of its request for setting up a multi-skill development center, training institutes and a research center. Now, the thing is that the letter explained the core intent of the land and as follows. The proposed multi-skill development center aimed primarily to save youngsters to make them more employable and industrial ready with skills and future skills. It was also designed to help students who were unable to pursue college education. Furthermore, the trust also had conceptualized a center of excellence intended to offer research and incubation opportunities for students and aspiring entrepreneurs for roles in high-tech industries. We do not wish to be drawn into controversies which will divert our attention and efforts from our primary objective of empowering the disempowered through education and social service. In light of these circumstances, we respectfully withdraw our proposal and request the board to cancel the allotment of CSI. Now, Priyank Kharge, who is the brother of Rahul Kharge, took it upon himself to announce the return of land by his brother, and this is what Priyank Kharge said. Only 3 of us from the family are in politics. My elder brother is a soft-spoken individual who has expressed distress over the attacks our family has faced. On 20th of September, he wrote to KIADB to return the land, stating that the allocation would be legally handed back.
हमारे मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट लहर सिंह सुरैया जी ने इस विषय को टेकअप भी किया हुआ है और वहां पर सीएजी ने जो अपनी रिपोर्ट में पॉइंट आउट किया 2017 से, उसमें लिखा है टू आस्क द कमेटी टू फिक्स द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फॉर वायलेटिंग द गाइडलाइंस ऑफ द कोर्ट ऑर्डर एंड सजेस्ट द एप्रोप्रिएट course of action against the defaulting officials for the deletion of the land under category A. इसका अर्थ क्या हुआ कि यदि आज कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता सिद्धारमैया जी हों या खड़गे जी हों, वो जमीन वापस कर रहे हैं तो कोई जमीर नहीं जागा है जो जमीन वापस कर रहे हैं। अदालत की कार्रवाई से में होने वाली जलालत से बचने के लिए वो जमीन वापस कर रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी आकंठ भ्रष्टाचार में डूबी है और जमीनों के घोटाले में कुछ ऐसी कांग्रेस को जमीन से लगाव है कि जहां जहां सत्ता में आती है, हरियाणा हो, राजस्थान हो, छत्तीसगढ़ हो, कर्नाटक हो, जमीन के साथ इनका विवाद जरूर जुड़ जाता है और जिस स्तर तक इनके सभी नेता इसमें आरोपित हैं, तो कोई ये नहीं कह सकता कि ये कोई आइसोलेटेड सिंगल केस है।
खड़गे परिवार और कांग्रेस के नेता केआईडीबी हो, मूडा हो, इन संस्थाओं को अपना घरेलू संस्थाएं समझते हैं। जब चाहा अलॉट करवा लिया और जब चाहा वापस दे दिया। ये बड़े दुख की बात है और शर्म की बात है कि जब हाईकोर्ट में केस चल रहा है, मूडा का पूरा मामला हाईकोर्ट के विचाराधीन है और हाईकोर्ट के अनुसार उस पर जांच हो रही है, ऐसे में 14 प्लेट को वापस किया कैसे जा सकता है और मूडा उनको एक्सेप्ट कैसे कर सकता है। इसी तरह से ये जो केआईडीबी का लैंड है, इसके खिलाफ जो कंप्लेंट दी हुई है माननीय राज्यपाल जी के यहाँ, उस कंप्लेंट के आधार पर अभी जांच होनी बाकी है, जांच की मांग की जा रही है। उन्होंने वापस 5 एकड़ जमीन लौटा दी। एक तो ये तो दर्शाता है कि उनका उसमें अपराध है और उन्होंने गलत तरीके से जमीन ली है, लेकिन इसका निर्णय जांच होने के पहले वापस देना और ये केआईडीबी जैसी संस्थाएं ऐसा कब जब चाहे वो नेता कहें अलॉट कर दे, जब चाहे वापस ले ले, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता। इस सारे मामले की जांच होनी चाहिए। और यही नहीं, माननीय खड़गे जी पर एक आरोप और भी है, जो 19 एकड़ जमीन जो गुलबर्गा में उनके ट्रस्ट को दी गई थी, वो गलत ढंग से दी गई थी और सीएजी की रिपोर्ट है जिसका उल्लेख किया जा चुका है मेरे आगे भी स्टेटमेंट में। उस 19 एकड़ जमीन का अभी बाकी एक उन्होंने इलीगल तरीके से उसको फ्री गिफ्ट दे दिया गया उनके फैमिली ट्रस्ट को। ये बिल्कुल गलत हुआ है, तो उसकी भी जांच होनी चाहिए। और एक और बात, आदरणीय खड़गे जी और उनका परिवार क्या राज्य को और देश की जनता को बताएगा कि उन्होंने पिछले 10-15 वर्षों 20 वर्षों में कहां और कितनी जमीनें अपने ट्रस्ट के नाम से अपने परिवार के नाम से अलॉट कराई है।
Land seems to be at the center of creating major problems for the Congress party and of course the Karnataka government. Chief Minister Siddhartha wife Parvati had also recently returned the sites to Mysore Urban Development Authority or MUDA following allegations of irregularities over the allocation. What are these land deals in Karnataka, for God's sake? Using influence to get major chunks by the ruling party or just some noise made by the opposition? Let's try to deep dive into this to understand. Joining me on this debate is Nizam Fauzdar, General Secretary and Spokesperson for the KPCC, and Ananda Gurumurthy, Spokesperson for the BJP in Karnataka. We are also awaiting S. Rajasekara, who is a senior journalist, but that will happen in some time. First up, Nizam Fauzdar, I have been reading all the statements given by Priyank Kharge, and I have one question to ask you, and without really training your guns at the BJP, please answer this. I'd be grateful, Nizam Fauzdar. He says all the rules were followed. There was absolutely no hanky-panky. We followed due diligence. So, I am asking you, Nizam Fauzdar, that when all the rules were followed, then why was the land returned by Mr. Rahul M. Kharge?
The question today is this here. This one
Okay.
and this one.
India's most corrupt state.
Correct? Now the question today that we need to ask is, 2 times the BJP government came in the state. Both the times, a magazine like Outlook says the most corrupt state government in the entire country is the Karnataka state government ruled by the BJP. ये करप्ट लोग आज जब जमीन वापस देते हैं तो पूछते हैं क्यों दे दिया भाई। जब जमीन गवर्नमेंट उनकी गवर्नमेंट अलॉट करती है, then they ask us, why have you taken the land? The BJP is in a confused state that why should we ask a question and how we should ask a question, and they don't really know why they are making a halla gulla about it. So they raised a question. The family of Mr. Kharge said on a moral ground we will return it back. If we keep the land, they will say देखो land हड़प लिया. So when we are giving back the land, the no sale deed has happened. The transfer deed has not happened. It is just a mere allocation to a trust, and the trust has said no, we don't want the land now. And in the same case, the BJP is saying, look, they are feeling guilty and that's why they're returning
No, I am
back
asking you,
the land.
Nizam, let's just focus on this. It's your government now. You had a fabulous victory. You came to power. Your guarantees, everything seemed to be working for you. Why did? Because when this story broke, when around 27th of September, I remember this very well. When it became big, before that there were chutput here there. Local papers were there. Then the national papers took it up. I am asking you, at that time Priyank Kharge and even Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge vehemently denied. They said there is no influence, there is no nepotism, this has been taken for empowering the poor, students who cannot otherwise afford it. Now why do you return the land? Suddenly what has happened? Now how will you empower the poor? What has gone, what is so moralistic about it unless you are guilty? Like Parvati, she has returned the land voluntarily. There is a process. Muda said, you returning, come. Come in person, we sign it. But in this case also they return the land. It's like I buy some goods from you, I don't think it's good for me, I return it to you. So there is some kind of problem. No. You can't.
No. Abhi, you are saying how will we empower the poor? How will we educate the poor? How will we train the poor? Now we will take the land with the donated money. We will seek the funds from our public. देखो भाई, अभी हमें लोगों को empower करना है, हम लेंगे और बनाएंगे.
अच्छा.
ये सरकार की जमीन आए या ना आए, लेकिन अपना काम हम जरूर करेंगे. बीजेपी के लोग कितना भी चाहे, let them keep
it's
shouting
not the
at the top
BJP,
of their
Nizam.
voice.
It's the Kannadigas, people who
budge.
voted for you.
We
voted for you. A lot of us voted for you. So I am saying you are answerable to the people who voted for you. Keep politics out of this. This is clearly not about politics. This is about morality. Nizam Faujdar, Anand Gurumurthy, spokesperson for the BJP. What is this? First they go to town and they say no rules were okay. Do you agree, first of all, Anand, that no rules were broken? Because I'm not someone who understands legalese, but I'm asking you something. Even in the Muda case, there is something called
Sorry,
influence.
Sudha, I'm not able to hear you. Sudha, can you repeat the last sentence, please?
Can you hear me now, Anand? Hi,
Yes,
Anand.
now it's fine. Yeah.
So I'm saying that two cases have happened. I want to ask you, Anand Gurumurthy, that do you think rules were broken? Because I see it as influence. Even if you don't break rules, suppose I know you and I want entry to, let us say, a famous temple. I'll say, Anand, can you help me? I'm using my influence. No, I'm friends with you. Influence is also something which is, in this kind of a case, 5 acres of land parcel. This is clearly nepotism and influence. Would you agree, Anand Gurumurthy?
Sudha, before I speak as a BJP spokesperson, I would like to speak as a citizen of this part of the country, born and brought up in Bengaluru. See, when in 1980s, when we were kids, this part, Bengaluru or Karnataka, was not, the real estate part was not as big as it is today. Similarly, in all across India, you can see that real estate part was not big. Most of the engineers, doctors then and their children may hold maybe a plot in Bengaluru, 60-40, 2,400 square feet, or maybe 2 plots, 3 plots, max. That's the max a person can earn. But if you see the political framework, whichever party, across the parties, everybody is running behind land, okay, which is not at all acceptable. And everybody knows that if you hold that, then you hold on to power. So this is something which is killing our country, because even Nizam will agree with me on this, okay, because this is not something, which will let growth of the country. Because if somebody holds on to the land and you pay, if you ask any businessman in and around Bengaluru, the rent that they pay to run their business is so huge that they cannot do business properly. This is happening, okay. Now, this is the fundamental question that is happening. Now, again, why this is happening? Most of the people in power are grabbing things, using their power. Their money power comes later. First they use their power and then collect money to do all this. Along with this, Kharge ji's case here, and Siddhartha ji's case there, in his Siddhartha ji's wife's 14 sites allotment, if you see, there not only they use this power to get things to their side, but they now are not, were not ready to agree to the political questions that we asked. So finally, we did the yatra, pada yatra, everything. Then finally, when it came to the courts, the people who brought it to the courts were not, the political backed people. They were individuals who brought it to the RTI activists. When it came to the court and the court started questioning, they are returning it. So we are very clear, okay, if you have stolen something and if you return it, it becomes a crime.
I said that.
It's a crime.
I said that. I mean, this is not children. These are elected representatives, I say. This is influence. When the Congress can go blue in the face saying, oh, influence, they have to stand, they have to be guilty of this. I'm going to take a break, but let me introduce S. Rajasekhara, senior journalist who's also joined us. Once I come back after the break, I will speak to Rajasekhara. Thank you. All right, that's the main story. Rahul Kharge, who's the son of Mallikarjun Kharge, returns the disputed land. And I have with me S. Rajasekhara, senior journalist. S. Rajasekhara, I've been asking this question of both Nizam Faujdar as well as Anand Gurumurthy, that I don't understand that when Priyank Kharge says all the rules were followed, you remember the story broke almost a month ago, and they went to town saying, this is BJP's plan, strategy, they want to besmirch our reputation, etc. Then Muda happened, then Mrs. Parvati Siddaramaiah returns it, and now Rahul, whom of course Priyank Kharge, and I respect that he's from IIT, soft spoken, not political at all, he also decides to return it. Don't you think that this is clearly a case of influence more than anything? I do not know what was exchanged. I do not have those documents. I haven't seen Ramesh's documents, 394 page of, supporting documents. I have not. I'll honestly tell you, Rajasekhara. But what is this, that I steal your pen and then I say, sorry, I just stole it, take it back. A crime is a crime is a crime, right?
Absolutely. There is no doubt about it. Influence is quite obvious here in this case. But I have a question, Sudha, just to ponder, not defending anybody. Just because he's somebody's son and daughter, somebody's husband, wife, shouldn't they get to do things that others can do?
Sure.
That is a question. So that is one thing. And the second point here is that, being in such a influential position, the entire family from senior Kharge to Priyank, I think this is an unwanted controversy that the family has taken up. And if we uh, go back to a few days about Ashoka's case, a BJP's
Yeah.
opposition leader in the assembly, he said that very tamely and very sheepishly, I returned before the case is filed, so there is no crime. So I think this is also kind of a preempting effort to to avoid any cases being filed against Karge's family, to avoid any controversy. And there is also, I believe strongly, there is a political calculation to this returning of the plot. There is a talk of changing the chief minister in the state, and Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge being very senior, respected leader in Karnataka and in the Congress across the country. He is said to be one of the persons being considered for the top post in
Okay.
Karnataka.
All right.
So just avoid all these controversies, just to preempt. And like what Ashoka said, probably they would have taken a leaf out of Ashoka's case and returned the plot even before a case is filed.
All right.
So they can always say that no, there is
Right.
no case because I returned the file.